Positively Muskegon this morning, and as we've talked, we're going to give our candidates here in town a chance to get to know you a little bit better through the blog, minus the political stuff. I mean, sure, it's a campaign, and yeah, there's got to be some fight going on to get those seats, but it's important that you get to know these guys as people and find out a little bit about what brings them to the political table. Jeff Lohman is here this morning. He is a county commissioner. I got to be honest with you. Tell me what a county commissioner does, Jeff. What's the biggest role that you take on as a county commissioner?
We do quite a bit. Everything from managing the wastewater facility to the jail to Health West to the health department to the airport to the parks. It's a pretty big project that the county's involved in. Third largest employer in the county.
Is that right?
Correct.
Wow. Tell me about your initial desire to run to be a county commissioner. What was your initial spark?
Yeah, I've always had an interest in politics. My degree's in political science and secondary education. It was actually a conversation that I had with Brandon Gemser at an event for Colleen Lamonti, and he mentioned, hey, you should get involved in township government. And I said, to be honest with you, I thought about a run for county commissioner.
Did you really?
And he said, all right. And it was good timing because Jim was looking to retire with Jim Derazinski in my district. So it was really good timing for me.
Talk about your district now. You've got out to Ravenna.
Yeah.
So you kind of got the whole Apple Avenue corridor.
Correct.
Cedar Creek Township.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I'm a resident of.
Okay.
We got a cottage up that way.
Okay.
Talk about your district and what makes it special to you.
All the way out to Castanovia Township.
Yep.
So the roundabout out to Apple Avenue. I was out to the Castanovia Township meeting yesterday. And I posted on Facebook, by far my favorite time to be out there in May because all the orchard blossoms are out there for miles.
Yeah.
So all the way out there to include a half of the village of Castanovia. The road runs down the middle of the street, and one side's Kent County, one side's Muskegon County. So I was out there yesterday. Moreland Township, Eggleston, Cedar Creek Township, Holton Township. So
what makes them all stand out to you? What are your favorite things about them?
My background, actually, I grew up in the rural part of Montague working on my grandpa's dairy farm. So I have a background in agriculture and rural living. My dad was actually a treasurer for Claybanks Township, which held their meetings in a little one-room schoolhouse.
Did they really?
Similar to what Cedar Creek does. So it's really where my background is, so I feel comfortable there. I feel comfortable representing the district.
We talked before we came on a little bit, and both of us have a pretty hard time blowing our own horn. Because in all honesty, everybody, sometimes for me, they're like, wow, you got this blog, and you do this, and you do that.
Right.
I'm just trying to make a house payment,
right.
man. How about you? What are some of your biggest accomplishments? I know it's not easy for you to talk about, but yeah. What are your proudest things?
I think for me personally, I live by a personal standard that I've never done being a better me.
Okay.
People would be shocked to hear this, but I graduated dead last in my class in high school.
That makes two.
Yeah, from Montague High School, so dead last. You can look it up with a 1.58 grade point average.
Really?
Went away to the military, grew up. Came back, went to MCC, got my first degree from Grand Valley, got my master's degree from Western, went to another program at Western in Family Studies, just finished a leadership coaching program at Butler.
Wow.
I've got a number of different certifications in team development, leadership development, personal profile tests. So I continue to do things to make me a better me.
Yep.
So personally, that's a pretty big accomplishment for me.
That's an amazing thing. I wasn't much of a student either, believe it or not. You know, it didn't seem to fit.
Yeah.
Especially with math.
Yep.
They like swept me under the rug as quick as they could.
Right.
Get out of here.
Well, my issue, growing up, I have dyslexia, so for me, reading and writing is an issue.
Yeah.
Sometimes it even comes out in my speech. So literally, when I was in the Army, I knew reading was my issue, so I had 5 different subscriptions to 5 different magazines: Fortune, Popular Science, Time Magazine, just different topics, and just forced myself to read different topics in the time that I was there.
Tell me about your time in the Army. Where'd you serve?
I was at Fort Bragg. I drove a multiple launch rocket system. I was part of the 18th Airborne Corps. Wow. Our unit wasn't airborne because they couldn't drop the rocket launchers via parachute, but it was a good time being at Fort Bragg. in North Carolina, and I learned a lot and grew up quite a bit.
Yeah, that's one thing looking back over my life. When I was those formative years,
Yep.
right out of high school up till when and I thought, man, 4 years is forever. I
Right.
can't enlist. That's going to take me forever.
Right.
It goes by so fast.
Well, what was important to me is, one of my heroes, I guess you could say, is a former teacher, Jim Tate. And we were in sociology class, and he was talking about how you could make changes in life to the general class. He probably could have been talking directly to me, but
Sure.
one of the things he encouraged people to do is, if you're having issues, is to get yourself out of a situation.
Yep.
And to join the military, to be honest with you, was the best option for me, because it got me completely away from my current situation.
And it gave you that opportunity to grow up.
Correct.
And nothing against your mom and dad or anything.
Yeah.
But the level of accountability goes up dramatically.
Sure, yeah, great parents, but had 5 kids,
Yep.
both worked, and we're busy, so
Yeah.
I just made bad choices.
It's a great move.
Yeah.
So you're up for re-election this time around.
Yes.
Is the county seat a term limited seat?
It isn't a term limited seat. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of term limits, because if you look at what's happened at the state legislature, they're even talking about getting rid of them, because in my opinion, what they've done is they've taken away the power of the legislator at the state level, and they've put it in the hands of the special interests and the bureaucrats who really run the show now.
Yeah.
So
You're up for re-election.
I am.
What are your goals over the next few years?
my passion when I ran was to develop a healthy, connected community.
Okay.
I recognized early that my district was used to not being represented at the county level. I learned that loud and clear from Moreland Township all the way back to the 70s, with the issues of the wastewater facility and the landfill coming in. So my district, Casanova Township feels more a part of Kent County, because that's what they've gotten used to. Holton Township feels more part of Oceana Nuevo, because that's what they've gotten used to. So my first goal was to connect with the townships, to make them feel a part of Muskegon, and to help them understand I was going to represent them. Developing a healthy community is one of my passions. I'm on the 1 in 21 committee through Rotary. So working towards that, one of my goals would be to develop a more walkable, bikeable community. We have statistically one of the least bikeable, walkable communities in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you drive down the street and you see somebody walking, it's almost a foreign thought, and your first thought is, why are they walking? Their car must broke down, they're poor. They're not walking because that's their preferred mode of transportation.
Right.
Because it's so rare in
Sure.
our county. So developing that, but I'm also on a kick to improve sustainability in the county.
Define that, because it's a word everybody hears.
Yeah.
What is that?
We do a pretty bad job recycling throughout the county. So
Okay.
we've got a group of core stakeholders that have been meeting for the past year to develop a county-wide recycling program. Everyone's been meeting to include the hospitals, the schools, the larger corporations in the area. Even the private waste haulers have been involved in the process. So
Cool.
Everyone's excited about it, and we're looking forward to move it forward. Sustainability also, I have a personal mission to get the county as much off the grid as possible.
Cool.
We spend about easily $65,000 to $75,000 per month going to consumers' energy.
A month.
Correct. Yeah, and that may be low. We put about $2 million in energy costs at just the wastewater facility alone.
No kidding.
So, this year we cut $2 million from our budget. We're going to do the same next year.
Wow.
And in my opinion, rather than lay off workers, let's find a way to create energy in a more sustainable manner and save money that way.
Perfect.
So,
Give me the elevator speech. You come knocking on my door. I open it up. You got 30 seconds. Tell me what you're running under.
sure, but I'm a hard worker.
Yeah.
Number one, and I think my townships have recognized that. I put a lot of miles on my car representing my district. But bottom line is, with my background and my education, I've got a background in career development, a background in economics, a background in leadership and team development. Really hoping to keep the job,
Sure.
basically. But I truly feel that I'm a strong asset.
You've
to
earned
my
it.
district.
You've
Sure.
earned the job. Sure.
And I've worked hard for it, for
Yeah.
sure. The first time I ran, I had 30 yard signs. People thought I was nuts. I knocked on a ton of doors.
Yeah.
And met a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I
what it
worked
takes.
hard to get into this position and my plan, probably 8 to 10 years county commissioner, and then move on looking at some coaching options.
Oh, very cool.
Because coaching soccer is one of my passions.
That's
as
the
well.
big thing for you. You
So
love soccer.
Yeah, I do. I coach at the community college,
Yep.
so people have tried to plan my political future, but I tell them I have no political future other than working for Muskegon County.
That's awesome.
So I think it's important for me to share that here because I'm not here for a stepping stone to go somewhere else. I'm here to work for Muskegon County.
Put yourself down.
Yeah.
Jeff Lohman, he's running for county commissioner once again. Appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to stop in, Jeff.
Sure.
Got all the links right here on Positively Muskegon. Best of luck in the campaign.
Thank you.
Jeff Lohman, everybody.